Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. Visit ccgcastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Another video. In today's video, we're gonna play Malamar, Giratina, Cofagrigus deck. Competitive deck, definitely. Good deck to play. Very interesting deck to be used. Very enjoyable experience playing this deck. I highly recommend everyone who can actually afford this deck to try it because it's a pure madness. I mean, damn, this Cofagrigus Spirit Juggling attack for 2 energy cards, 10 plus, 30 for each benched Pokemon you discarded in this way. I mean, what else I need to say about that? If you play Shrine of Punishments, if you play Giratina with Distortion Door, you can spread so many damage counters much more faster that, in my opinion, this is even better than some other damage spread decks like Tapu Koko Shining Lugia. Really it is. Just because, fun fact, if you can set 4 Giratinas, or let's say if you can set 3 Giratinas per turn to be discarded, you can hit for 100 with Spirit Juggling. Then you can also put 6 damage counters to 2 of your opponent Pokemons in play. Actually, 3 on each, on the bench with Giratina Distortion Door. And even if our opponent manages somehow to knock our Cofagrigus, he still needs to take 4 damage counters, which can be divided anywhere we really want to put them. And still, if we play against GX deck, we can also use Shrine of Punishment and force our opponent to take 1 damage between turns, which is insanely strong in my opinion. Basically because in the late game we can just use Magical Swap, where we can simply swap all of the damage counters from all of our opponent Pokemons in play for one to other in any order we want, you know. Biggest problem for this deck obviously is going to be that Solgaleo GX that's been used heavily in those Gardevoir decks, and also Zora can be a problem. Not because Zora can one-hit knock out our Cofagrigus, that's not a big problem, but because he can use advantage of those, let's say, Trickster GX attack, where he can also use our Cofagrigus attack, and if he plays, obviously, if Darkness Energies, but also he can play those Max Potion cards, it's Roller cards, and then simply he can scoop whatever he wants from play. This is the biggest problem in my opinion. But any other matchups, especially those decks that needs to evolve and plays rare candies and stuff like that, are going to be in a very, very bad position facing this deck. So let's just go straight forward to the deck list. I'm running 1 copy of Ditto with this beautiful ability simply because evolving from Ditto can be possible to Malamar or Cofagrigus or even Zebstrika. So we can use that sprint and discard a hand and draw 4 cards. Very good card, especially for the setup. It makes a lot of sense in this deck just because we really want to discard those Giratinas from our hand, and this is the reason why Zebstrika can be very useful in this build. Then 4 copies of Giratina with Distortion Door. We can also use Giratina for the Shadow Impact if we need, but, you know, it's just not that strong in my opinion, but it can be used again if we can set up 2 Malamars in play. Still, it's potentially a good option, because then we can simply use Shadow Impact, place 4 damage counters on another Giratina, and then that Giratina can be discarded easily with Cofagrigus anyways. 2 copies of Inkay and 2 copies of Malamar. Following that, I'm playing 1 copy of deck cards, 1 Let Loose Marshadow, 1 Tapu Lele with a Magical Swap, 1 copy of Tapu Lele-GX in case if I stuck without option to set up or play support at turn 1, I can always play my Ultra Ball, grab Tapu Lele, or maybe Mysterious Treasure, grab Tapu Lele. In a worst possible scenario, if Tapu Lele is priced, I can always get for the backup option, which is Marshadow. 3 copies of Yamask and Cofagrigus, and that's all from the Pokemons. Moving on to the item cards, I decided to go pretty much straightforward with 4 copies of Mystery Treasure and 4 copies of Ultra Ball, so I can have as fast as possible setup as I can get. Then I also decided to take 1 copy of Pulpit and 2 copies of Rescue Stretchers, just because in some situations, Rescue Stretcher is not here mainly necessary, but it's a good option because you can always grab some important cards from your discard pile in your hand, like Marshadow, maybe Tapu Lele-GX, so you can repeat supporter play if you need. So this is the reason why this can be very useful. Also playing 3 copies of Shrine of Punishment, so we can play some damage counters between turns to our opponent Pokemon ZX or GX in play. More from item cards, 2 copies of Escape Board in case if we stuck with, let's say, Inkay in the active position, maybe with, I don't know, Marshadow, Tapu Lele or Tapu Lele-GX, and we don't have option to retreat. Well, we can always get that Escape Board without attaching energy, retreat for free. It's a good option to have, for sure. And 4 copies of Spell Tag. So when the Psychic Pokemon that Spell Tag is attached to it, it's knocked out by the damage from our opponent attacks. You know, remember, if it's knocked out by ability, Spell Tag won't be triggered, so it's not gonna count. We can put 4 damage counters on our opponent Pokemon in any way we like. So yeah, this is the very powerful card because it allows us to spread even more damage counters in play. Draw support, I'm running 9 draw supporter cards. I decided to go with 4 copies of Cynthia, 3 copies of Lillie, and 2 copies of Tate and Liza. Tate and Liza option just because, again, I can stack with something like Giratina in the active position, which has to retreat cost, and I might not be able to retreat. Tate and Liza can then be a good option. But even the Escape Board 1 energy could also be a option. Actually, it would not be the option because Escape Board only reduces the -1. But anyways, 3 copies of Guzma and 8 Psychic regular energies, and that is the deck list that I'm going to use and play in today's video. I hope you guys are going to enjoy it, so make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, turn that notification bell so you can so you won't miss any future video. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you in the game, so stay tuned. Alright, so looks like I'm gonna start second. Not the worst opening hand in the world, I should say that. I mean, starting with the Tapu Lele is not the best possible start you want to get, but it's definitely not the worst. I would say it's rather better than starting with my Tapu Lele, you know, GX. So I'm happy with that. The good thing is that I have Mystery Treasure, so that's the first important thing. With the Mystery Treasure, I can grab myself Ditto. And what I'm talking about, I can't grab Ditto. I can grab Yamask, I can put him on the bench, I can play Ultra Ball for Ditto, and then I can play my Lillie for up to 8. I might decide to go for Ditto from 2 different reasons. Maybe I just want to grab myself a Zebstrika, so I can have extra draw support. Or maybe I can just evolve into Malamar. So I have pretty much 2 different ideas and options available at the beginning of this game. I just want to avoid discarding my Rescue Stretcher if it's somehow possible, and I think it will be possible. And strong opening hand from my opponent. He already have Ditto and Professor Zelm Lecture for 2 Zeruas and Rowlet. Yeah, those the CGIs are gonna be big problems for me, but I mean, yeah, I just need to set my bench properly, and that's just pretty much it. Zebstrika is here and Ditto is here, so let's just grab first Ditto and let's just put him on the bench. Second thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna throw my Guzma out for 1 copy of Inkay. I need 2 Inkays. I need 2 Inkays on the bench so badly. Let's see what we can get with that Cynthia play, with that Lillie play. Just 1 Giratina and the Escape Board. Actually, this looks pretty bad right now. But since I have my Giratina, I can put it on the bench. I don't have Yamask, which is pretty bad. Really it is. Whew. So hard to think what to do next. Do I even want to attach that energy? That is a very good question. I'm gonna keep it on my Tapu Lele. And I'm just then gonna pass my turn, you know, literally. That's just all I can do at this moment. Next turn, I hope this Cynthia will be good. I can't believe that I didn't pull a single mystery, neither Ultra Ball, so... that could be a very problematic thing for me, literally. But as long as I can get, you know, some Giratinas in my discard pile, then I can start to get actions going on. And again, I think maybe there was a bad idea attaching energy on the Tapu Lele instead of the Giratina. But the reason for that is simply because... I don't know what was the reason for that, to be honest. I'm still just gonna knock that Lele out anyways, probably with my Cofagrigus attack. So I think that was a mistake. And 2 damage counters are gonna be placed on my Ditto right now, just like that, so... at least that's probably gonna be it. Okay, so he discarded that the Water Field, which is a very big mistake in my opinion. One less stadium, always good to know. So I'm desperately right now searching for a answer. Actually, I can do that. I can actually do that. Why not? But just that energy attachment was not a good idea. Mr. Treasure for my Giratina. And I'm gonna grab that Malamar, and after that Malamar play, what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna play my Ultra Ball, and with that Ultra Ball I'm gonna grab myself a Marshadow, so I'm gonna let loose my opponent. Only thing I'm looking for is the energy card, and that's pretty much it. If I miss it, oh, luckily I didn't. Okay, so at the end this end up good for me. The question still remains, do I want to go for the knockout in this situation or maybe not? That is the most important thing to think about. But let's just go straight for it, shall we? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Shrine of Punishment between turns can do some damage. Not something serious, but still it can do some damage. And basically for next turn I'm gonna need 2 Yamask on the bench. I do have Palpet, I have Escape Board, so I have a couple good cards available. There's also, as you can see, my spell tag available, so even if my opponent knocks me out with the Zorak, he's still forced to take 4 damage counters, maybe even more with the Shrine of Punishment, so that's a good thing. And then again I can try to swap some damage with my Tapu Lele, but maybe he just missed opportunity to knock me out, who knows. He just needs to find first double course energy, right? Right, that's correct. But he have 2 trades available, so Hand's Hammer has been discarded. I still think how maybe, yeah, 2 Decidueyes, that looks pretty bad. 4 damage counters between turns with the feeder arrows. And the good thing is that he decided to go for the Tapu Lele instead of the Malamar, actually. Right now he decided to put 2 damage counter on the Malamar. And there's a double course energy as well, so it will be enough for the knockout. Definitely 4 to Zorua. Definitely 4 to Zorua, because this Zorua will be knocked out anyways next turn with my Giratinas. And something like... Okay, another shrine. So I can basically use 2 distortion doors. I'm gonna keep pressuring that Decidueye. Yet another Cynthia. Still, I can do some damage with my Psy Wave. Nothing significantly to damage my opponent hard with that Psy Wave, but still, 20 is better than nothing, right? Alright, that resistance is actually gonna be a big problem in this game. I'm gonna need a couple more spell tags as fast as possible. The only good thing is that right now I'm still out of the range to be knocked out. And this might be a knockout against my Yamask. And probably it will be. And next turn also I'm gonna lose my Malamar as well, so that's not looking good. Things definitely not looking good right now. And he had switch, plus he can play like 2 more copies of trade. Trying to get that supporter card, maybe even Stadium. He already played Guzma, so he can go with another one. So there's a Rowlet. If he can put 3 Decidueyes in play, then he can spread 6 damage counters between turns, and that's just not looking good. And even worse, if he wants, he can just use that GX attack and discard all of those Pokemons from his bench as well. How many damage we have in play? 70, 140, 140, 170, 200. There's like 200 damage counters in play. Yeah, the truth is I can add 1 more with Distortion Door. The truth is I can't do too much, but maybe I can at least try to magical swap. Let me count something. 40, 70, 100, 130, 140 with the Shrine would be enough, but then he's probably just gonna play Acerola as well. I'm taking a huge risk. I'm basically taking a very huge risk here. Next turn I can use Magical Swap theoretically. Still I can have some time to set up. And I can basically try to maybe pull 4 price cards next turn and win the game. It all depends if he can find Acerola and the Scoop that heavily damage Zoroark from play. This is the only way to for my opponent to win this game. Or maybe just to go with that Retreat and with that Trickster GX to copy my Spirit Jungling attack, where he can simply discard the entire bench. And we might see that coming up. Interesting. We might not see that coming up. We might just see a Guzma play. Ah, there it is. There's the card I was very scared about, and it actually happened. I wish he didn't have this Acerola available in his hand, so I could potentially win the game next turn. Right now it's just way too hard. It still all depends what's gonna happen next, you know. If he decides to use Trickster GX, no, he decided just rather to go with the Reduce Bidding. Obviously, it's much better, you know. 4 damage counters needs to be placed somewhere, so I think it's a good way to go on that Zorua. I'm gonna put how many Giratinas? 3 of them. 3 here and 3 to do Rowlet. Ah, damn, I'm short 1 damage for that Rowlet knockout. Okay, never mind. I still have 3 copies of Giratina available to put on the bench. Oh, seriously, he decided to concede? What the heck? I mean, he could probably win the game. I would still just knock the Zoroark out and probably swap the damage to the active one, but I'm not sure if there was enough damage counters anyways to do that. But that's the GG, my friends. That's the game. So we managed to beat that Zoroark GX. Even he used that Acerola turn before to scoop and heal all of the damage from his Zoroark in play. And that's it, my friends. That's the GG. That's the power of this deck. That's the beauty of this deck. Once again, there's a full deck list that I used in this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and sub to the channel for more videos. And let me know also in the comments below what you think about it. I mean, I almost bricked at the beginning of the game, but that Ditto actually proved to be a good option because I had opportunity to evolve my Cofagrigus onto Ditto in order to start putting some pressure onto my opponent in the early stage of the game, and later it was just how to get more and more Giratinas and how to put more and more Distortion Doors and more Shrine Punishments between turns so I can simply have that damage swap available. And right now you see why Tapu Lele is very good tech for this deck, because even if you don't have options to attack, you can still use Magical Swap and win just by using damage swap from one to other Pokemon in play. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to hit the thumbs up, sub to the channel for more videos. We'll see you next time. Have a nice day as usual, and goodbye.